I was off my medicine during the event. I just like power bombed her onto the table.
Say my name.
Breaking Banquet.
You're goddamn right.
Does that sound good? That sounds better. There we go. Hi, everybody. Thank you, D20 Jenny, for the $10. Appreciate the love. Thanks, everybody, for the love. Welcome back. Avoid fat camps in the future. I should probably talk about that. How's anger management going? I've finished my online classes. But like the way the online classes work is even if you finish, you got to wait a certain amount of time. And I haven't let that amount of time elapse yet. But I've completed the course. And I just need to let the amount of time elapse to get my certificate. But I noticed when I put out my apology letter that a lot of people thought that wasn't good enough. So what I'm going to do is actually go to a one in a group setting as well. I just got to find one and make the time and schedule, and I haven't done that yet. And the main reason is like the timeline I was working on changed because somebody recorded me without my knowledge. It is what it is. So like I had planned on having everything done and set and basically working at that point. But yeah. Where's Kelly at? She's in the other room working. There's no need to make excuses for anything. Like like the whole like situation kind of got out of control.
Are you serious?
What was I gonna say? Like looking back into it, I was in the wrong, right? And like leading up to that point, like what ended up happening was I leaked like what actually happened at Fat Camp with the Becky situation. And then my pride got in the way. Like I was having all kinds of emotions I was having trouble dealing with at the time. And at the same time, I was trying to put on a show. But at the same time, I feel like the fuck up I did shouldn't have been a fuck up. And it really got in my head. And I just started like kind of crashing out and just like going off the rails with it. And what ended up happening was like I had no intention did I ever want to hit anybody.
Are you serious?
Like when I was at the scale and I was supposed to do the weigh-in, because like there's people made a lot of assumptions, right? Because I remember somebody saying that, oh, he took his keys, his watch, and everything off because he knew what was about to happen. No, I took my keys, my watch, and everything off because I didn't want the extra weight for me to weigh, right? Because I wanted to be 404 like I was that morning in the cabin, right? And like they always want to weigh on camera at the end of the day after you've drank water, you might have ate something, you might have to poop. There's all kinds of variables that go into it. I usually weigh myself for the first thing I get up and after the morning tinkle. That's usually how I do it. And I was just amped up. I had adrenaline going. And even when I went over to Keem and I pointed at the camera, I wasn't wanting to fight him there either. But like my adrenaline was going. And what ended up happening was like when Keemstar stood up, like I kind of like got into his personal space a little bit and my belly bumped him.
Are you serious?
And he put his arm out like this to make space. But in my head, it instantly went to like, oh, he just fucking pushed me. And I pushed him back. And then nothing happened, right? Like he grabbed my throat. I reached over and grabbed his throat. It kind of just died right there, right? Because I didn't want to hit him. He didn't want to hit me. We went our separate ways. But I was still hot. I still had adrenaline pumping through me. You know, I mean, to the point where like my hands were shaking. You know, you gotta kind of get the adrenaline stuff. And like I went into the house to cool off. Other things happened, right? Other people kind of got loud with me and told me what I should do and what I shouldn't do and stuff in the house. And I'm like, whatever. So like I started getting my stuff because like, okay, I just attacked the boss. I'm going home. So I went and grabbed my clippers. And they are clippers. They're not a gun or anything like that. They're clippers. Matter of fact, I could probably show you. No, the other person was not Kelly. Kelly was trying to calm me down almost the whole time. But I go back out and I hear them basically talking trash, saying I dig deeper holes and stuff like that. So I'm going to go over there, and I did it in the wrong manner. I kind of like was walking fast because I was ill with them. And everybody took that as me going over there to start shit again. And they started like holding me back and everything like that. So I started like, I don't know if you guys know, but there was a guy in front of me. His name was Ken. And like, if I want to get what I want to say in, I'm going to have to get past this dude. So I started like pushing my shoulder down and like pushing through Ken. And then everybody starts grabbing me. And once they start grabbing me, I'm trying to like shake them off. And you know what happened. Basically, I let my personal vendetta and rage get the best of me, and it put somebody I hurt, somebody I love, in a place they can get hurt. And I take full responsibility for that. Can I explain the slap video in the car? Well, calling it a slap is... I mean, I can see how you could call it a slap, but it's more the sound than the actual action. And that's more to do with anxiety than anything else. Like, we were in Atlanta, and Kelly was driving at, like, I just got done driving probably 6 hours or whatever it might be. And, like, I needed a break. And we were trying to make it from Myrtle Beach to Montgomery, Alabama in one go. So like after about 6 hours, like, all right, I need a break. So Kelly took over right around Atlanta. So we're in Atlanta, and like she gets into the heavy traffic. Anybody's ever been into traffic in Atlanta? Atlanta traffic's bad. It's not LA bad, but it's close, right? It's bad. You got, I hate to say this, so you got Hellcats going everywhere. Like Hellcat's like the unofficial car of Atlanta. We miss an exit. And we get dumped off into one of the ghettos of Atlanta, a ghetto called Bankhead. If anybody's not familiar with South, Bankhead is not a spot you want to be in, right? I mean, it's the middle of the day, so you're probably pretty safe. But it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, we're not in the greatest spot. And Kelly starts blaring on the horn. Somebody like literally, like Kelly was at a red light, and somebody like moved in front of her. She starts blowing the horn. I mean, she was just here. Maybe she'll explain what she was thinking about. And I'm like, Kelly, stop. And I tell her like 2 or 3 times. Like, you don't see how many times I tell her to stop in the video itself because it's kind of like cropped. But she just keeps getting on the horn. So I reach over and I go, stop. Just like that. Like you could almost hear the sound. And yeah, it was an aggressive manner, but like it was nothing that was going to hurt her. And everybody claims like, oh, you hurt her because she was like rubbing her arm. But like, it was not coming from a place of like, it wasn't coming from a place of like, I want to hit you or anything like that. Like, it just looks bad. She's been a trooper about all this. I think she's got dogged on more than I have with this situation. Because like, basically, I don't want to get into that. But basically, how can I say this, Kelly?
I don't know what you're trying to say, honey.
How can I explain how you got dogged on without throwing anybody under a bus?
We don't say anything at all.
Yeah, let's not say anything at all.
Because I really am not even sure what you're talking about as far as me getting dogged on. So let's just move on from it. Because
yeah, I want to take the high road.
I know what you're talking about, and there's no like. Yeah. I don't feel like I got dogged on that. I just kind of like whatever. That was part of it.
The person I feel like I got betrayed by was the person who recorded it. It goes by the name of Twiggy. Because like, here's the thing, like, as soon as Twiggy decided to show that video to Keemstar, at that point, if Keemstar decided to avoid it, now you have a variable out there that like, okay, this video's out there, people seen this video. Why? How are they going to blackmail me with it? Are they going to hold it over my head? Whatever. I think the video coming out was the best result possible. because like it's a big nothing burger, like it's just a huge nothing burger. I don't like the way they addressed me and like painted me out to be something I'm not. Yeah, I agree. Bush and Kelly did look way worse, and like my that's why I take full responsibility for that. Like my act. I'm sorry, brains farting. I wouldn't call the clip in the truck as me attacking Kelly. Did you take that as attacking?
No, I was acting freaking crazy, and you were trying to get me to calm down and be rational, and not do something stupid.
I mean, like you can see in the video, like she blows the horn before, after, and during everything that goes down. So it's like Kelly's talking like an abused wife.
Well, if you would see, like, after he deleted the video, I was the one who was like, oh, good, because I look like a psychopath in that. Like, the way I'm blowing the horn and stuff. Like, that was me. Can I explain the Niagara Falls story Boogie told? Yeah, 100%. So we go, it's 4th of July of last year. You want me to explain it? I think I'd do better. Let me get a chair.
She gonna go get a chair. She'll explain it to you. I was off my medicine during the event, but it wasn't. It was because I couldn't eat, and my medicine requires food.
All right.
If I don't eat, I can't take it.
Niagara Falls. Can y'all hear me? All right. So we had been talking. We knew we were going up to be near Niagara Falls. We both really wanted to see Niagara Falls. Okay. We'd been talking about it a ton, and so when we got up there, we knew we only had a couple days to be there, and we knew we had one play day. Okay, we had one play day. Because the next day, they had to be at Keemstar's party in the afternoon. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, I woke up that morning, and I'm an early riser. So, like, I'm ready to go at, like, 6:30 in the morning. It's like, let's go. My husband, not quite so much. So, we had both been talking about how much we were looking forward to going to Niagara Falls. And so, that morning I woke up, I'm ready to go to Niagara Falls. Like, ready. Okay? I'm such a child like this. Like, this is one of my flaws. Like, I'm very impatient. And so, and Boogie was sitting at the table, and Jordy came out, and he wasn't feeling well, and I was asking him about going to Niagara Falls. He's like, dude, I really don't feel good at all. I really don't feel good. And I'm like, honey, like, do you want to go? And he's like, no, I really don't feel good. I don't like, and I'm like, but I know you really wanted to go, and I want to go, and I don't want you to miss this. Like,
well, you're saying a little bit wrong. Like, here's what Boogie got into it.
I haven't finished. Can I please?
Let me just put this in preface here. Kelly has a way of, like, when she wants to do something, she doesn't like to be told no. And, like, what she was getting from me was, like, I don't want to go because I'm sick. And she thought that meant she couldn't go. So I go, and I stated, like, it's just some water and some rocks. I'll be okay. You can go if you want to. And so, like, I gave her the keys to the rental.
What I was actually going to say is the reason I was upset was because I knew Jordy originally did want to go. And then that's when he was like, honestly, it's really just some water and some rocks. I'll be fine. That's what I was going to say. He never told me I couldn't go without him. He, the whole time, said I could go without him.
And what happened the next day?
Next day...
That Boogie left out.
The next day, we went to Amish country. He did feel a little better, so he went to Amish country and...
No, I didn't feel better. Because, like, explain to them, like, what we had to do at the end of that trip.
We had to drive, like, 15, 16 hours home in Boogie's car as a favor to him.
And what did I end up having?
COVID. Yeah,
I gotten COVID-19 from the airport. And, like, I was showing the first signs of symptoms of COVID-19 when I got to there at the 4th of July party. and I ended up having to, and like Kelly had to do the lion's share of the driving, but I basically was sitting there dying in the passenger seat of Boogie's car for like 15 hours.
Okay, do you want me to address the me tripping? Because that's literally what I felt. Y'all, have y'all never had a moment where you didn't really know what happened? Because that's kind of where I was. Like, the whole trip thing was because I was in this small space. The reason I got in front of Jordy is because I wanted to stop him, and the easiest way to stop this man was for me to get in front of him, because I knew this man was not going to hurt me. I just know it. So, when I got in front of him, well, actually, I was trying to get in front of him, and what happened was we were in between the table and the couch, so there was little space. So, why I said I tripped was because when I was bumped, I felt my feet come up and hit the table, and I tripped on the table legs and flipped back. That's why I said I tripped. Obviously, when you look a little bit more, it does show that I tripped. There's a reason I tripped, but it wasn't intentionally, and you can tell the moment he realizes who he had pushed.
Stop getting in front of me.
Well, she's saying this now. I mean, you guys are not giving her time to explain herself. Here, the truth of the fact is this: I was mad. Like, I literally, you can go back and watch the video frame by frame if you want to. I was pushing into Ken's stomach, and I pushed through it. Kid behind the camera initially grabs my left arm, which I don't know this at the time. I just felt like a bunch of people grabbing onto me. But like basically, Ken had me by my midsection. I had Kid behind the camera on my left arm. I had Kelly on my right arm, which I didn't know who grabbed me in the long run. Like I just know a bunch of people were grabbing on me, and they thought I was going to attack Boogie when I really wanted to yell at her. I mean, like yell at him. And I was kind of pushing, and I when I broke free of Ken, like my very first thing was like push off, because I had like my clipper case in this hand. And I basically pushed off like this, and that momentum like just kind of like made her hit the table, and the table just like swept her. I know it looks worse than that, and it looks like I just like power bombed her onto the table, but like a lot of that was just gravity doing its thing. Gravity doing its thing. Let me say this thing. I pushed her onto the table, but I didn't mean to push her onto the table.
You didn't really push me on the table. You pushed, and when you pushed, I stumbled and tripped on the table.
It doesn't look like that. So,
but that is what happened.
That is what happened, but it doesn't look like that. Optics look. But like here's the justification. I didn't know where Kelly was. I didn't know Kelly was even there. And I pushed anybody that would have been there. If Kid behind the camera was on my right side, Kid behind the camera is going onto the table. Like I didn't leave the game room that day expecting to push my wife onto a table, right? It just looks really, really bad.
Let me address this too. Me calling out for Ken was because I'd never seen Jordy like this, okay? Like I'd never seen him like this. And me calling out for Ken was like the biggest dude I seen there, and I wanted help to keep him from doing something he would regret later. That was the whole Ken thing.
Like if you notice in the video, like she tries to like corral me with like putting her arms around me while she's doing that. She doesn't want me to go and attack somebody. That's what she didn't want me to do.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah. Like, so I'm looking over there trying to find the biggest person I can find, and I see Ken. That was the Ken. I think that pretty much covers everything as far as that. Like, can we move on now?
They want to talk about the NDA leak. I don't know how much money I'm actually getting. I don't know how much money we're getting from Fat Camp, and it's not an NDA leak. It was more of me kind of seeing if the person I was talking to was on the level, and I just spit a number out. I don't know how much money I'm actually getting, because I don't know how much Fat Camp cost, right? Everybody knows what my contract's in place because we did it on Locale Live. I'm due one more month plus a severance package, and like that's actually on Locale Live. That's not breaking NDA because we signed that contract on Locale Live.
And there's a lot of numbers you're not privy to.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers I'm not privy to. I don't know what I don't know how much merchandise we sold. I don't know how much we make off the merchandise. I don't know how much we're getting paid from like the card game. I don't know how much like the fees for like broken stuff is, which I think is kind of bullshit, right? Because Tina broke half the shit there, but it is what it is.
What did my mama saw the tripping incident for the first time, y'all. She laughed. She literally laughed.
Because I feel like I should do things to make amends for this, because I did put my wife in a situation she shouldn't have been in. And that's why I'm doing the anger management. I'm willing to go do anger management in real life. I did the online classes. I'm going to my doctor to have him revise my medication, because like those slip ups like I did where like I got angry shouldn't exist, which at the same time it's like there's variables, right? Like I said before, like my medicine requires food to be taken. If I don't eat food with it, like I get kind of like, it doesn't affect me, but like I see like color splotches in my eyes. Like it's, I don't know how to explain it, but like it's almost like a neon color. It kind of like blinks if you take it without eating. And like there wasn't a lot of food at camp. No, I'm on Effexor. I've been off Lexapro for years. I'm on Effexor, 150 milligrams. The idea of fat camps to have less food, but the issue is we had so many people there. And like, for example, of day one, Brantley cooked 2 pots of chili, and I got like 1 bowl of the chili, and I ate that on stream. And I was coming back the next day to get another bowl of chili, and we had like, how many people do you think were in the house?
At that point, like
25, 30?
Yeah.
25, 30?
Yeah.
And like they had stayed up all night drinking, and they ate every single morsel of chili there was. I was like, good Lord. And that's just how it ran the rest of that day. Like they would, like for example, the next day I got up and I went to the house, and Wonder Woman cooked some eggs and bacon. And like within 5 minutes, it was gone. Like if you weren't at the stove the second the stove turned off, you didn't get food, pretty much. So like that's when I was complaining. It's like, oh, I haven't eaten this amount of time or this amount of time. It's like almost everything you've seen us eat, we ate on camera. Like we just wasn't eating. Just wasn't eating. Cook your own food then.